I want to read a story from Reddit. My ex-husband and I have been divorced for 5 years now. I let him have our house because at the time he had a way better paying job and could cover the mortgage where I couldn't on my own. I always knew he wasn't great with finances, so my attorney recommended I get a deed of trust to secure assumption. That doesn't mean anything. I would have rather had my name removed from the deed, but to my knowledge, he would have to refinance to do so. However, he went into forbearance for a year during COVID and wouldn't have been able to refinance anyways. Lo and behold, I checked my credit score this morning and it went down 173 points because he hasn't been paying the mortgage. I've never paid anything late in my life and I'm beside myself. It blows my mind that he's even capable 5 years after our divorce for destroying my credit to this extent. I even spoke to the mortgage company years ago and asked them that I be notified if it was ever late. They're never going to do that. Before it got so late that it would be reported, but they failed to do so. I plan on meeting with my attorneys as soon as possible, but can anyone tell me what is in my power to do at this point? Is my credit just wrecked now? Yeah, it's just wrecked now. Now someone in the comments replies, I did this and ended up with a foreclosure on my credit. They started making late payments and eventually stopped paying entirely. I tried to sue and force the sale of the house before the bank could foreclose, but the courts moved too slowly on my case versus the foreclosure. We had been very amicable during the divorce, and now we hate each other with a passion. These scenarios are, unfortunately, way more common than many realize. A short search of Reddit produced dozens of stories such as this and hundreds of replies in the comments with people sharing the same story. It's a perfect example of why co-owning a home after divorce can lead to serious unexpected issues. Hi, I'm Dale Karstensen, certified divorce real estate expert, and today I want to talk about common issues for divorcing couples, co-ownership of property after a divorce, and why it can lead to serious financial and legal problems if not properly managed. Let's explore some of the common pitfalls of co-owning a home after a divorce and what you can do to avoid them. Shared legal and financial responsibilities. When you share a home together, you share responsibilities. That means both of you are legally responsible for the mortgage, property taxes, insurance, and maintenance, regardless of who actually lives in the house or who agreed to keep it. If one party falls behind on payments, the other is equally liable. This can happen if you're no longer emotionally or financially connected. One missed payment can trigger late fees, damage your credit, and open the door for foreclosure. If your ex is less diligent about responsibilities, your credit and financial health suffer as a result. Additionally, owners can be held liable if someone is harmed on the property or if property damage occurs. For instance, if an injury occurs due to a hazardous condition that the owner neglected to fix, or if the owner's negligence leads to a fire, both owners could potentially be sued, particularly if their homeowner's insurance is inadequate to cover the damages. If an owner forgets to pay for necessary coverage, or if the insurance policy doesn't cover a major loss, the financial consequences can be severe. 2. Credit impact and liability. Being co-borrowers on a mortgage means your credit score is tied to the payment history of that loan. If your ex misses a few payments or falls behind on the property taxes, it's reported to the credit bureaus against both of you, even if you are no longer in contact or agree with their handling of the home. This joint responsibility can devastate your credit rating, making it harder or more expensive for you to buy, rent, or access credit in general in the future. And it's not uncommon for divorced couples to overlook until damage is done, which can happen suddenly and unexpectedly. 3. Legal and court-ordered arrangements. Sometimes couples try to avoid the hassle of selling by creating legal agreements, such as court orders or co-ownership deeds that specifies who pays what and how equity will be divided later. But these agreements can be complicated, and if they aren't clear or enforceable, disputes can arise. For example, if one party stops paying their share, the other might need to go back to court to enforce the agreement. A costly, time-consuming, and emotionally draining process. Sometimes these disputes end up costing more than they're worth, especially if foreclosure or property damage occurs. Imagine if the need to enforce the agreement occurs 10 years, 20 years, or even 30 years in the future. 4. Difficulty in selling and refinancing. When both owners want to sell, things can get complicated quickly. Diverging timelines, disagreements over listing price, or emotional ties to the property may delay or prevent the sale altogether. Refinancing can be even trickier. To refinance and remove your ex from the mortgage, you need to qualify on your own, which can be challenging if your income has changed or your credit score has been impacted. Without refinancing, you remain liable for the mortgage, and your ex may remain an owner on the title as well. 5. Unequal contributions and equity issues. In many cases, one ex contributed more financially towards the home, making larger mortgage payments, paying for renovations, or covering property taxes. Furthermore, what if one party spends a significant amount of money in upkeep and maintenance for years after the divorce? Is the other party entitled to an equal share of the increased equity? Co-owning a home after divorce may seem like a convenient or temporary solution, but it often leads to complex legal and financial and emotional challenges. From shared responsibilities that can jeopardize your credit to difficult negotiations over selling and refinancing. These issues can linger for years and potentially cost you thousands, or even threaten your financial stability. Without a clear agreement or proactive planning, you risk falling into legal disputes, missed payments, or foreclosure, all of which can have a lasting negative impact on your credit and your peace of mind. The key to avoiding these pitfalls is to approach property division with careful planning and professional guidance. Work with experienced real estate and legal professionals to ensure your interests are protected. Making informed decisions early, whether that means selling, refinancing, or establishing enforceable agreements, can save you time, money, and stress in the long run. Remember, the goal is to protect your financial future and secure your peace of mind. If you find yourself still tangled in joint ownership or mortgage obligations post-divorce, seek expert advice to navigate these challenges effectively and ensure your financial independence moving forward.